Today I'm going to show you how to do some basic sky replacement in After Effects. Actually, I'll show you two ways of doing sky replacement. One is with masks, and then the other one would be with a colorama effect. So this is what we're going to create. Now, um, this is the original footage. It's, I don't know, Arizona, I guess, which is this, and then a sky with some thundering skies. And I don't know where this is at. I'm guessing somewhere terrible. If God hates you that much, then you must suck. Anyways, so we're gonna create this effect. So let's get right to it. I'm gonna get my desert clip and drop it on a new composition. If you drop your footage on this little composition button, the composition will match your video, like all the format and stuff. So let's get our sky layer and drop it on the bottom because it's going to be on top and the sky behind it. So let's just get the pen tool. You can press G for that. Actually, well, if you press G a bunch of times, that's a feather tool. So whatever. Anyways, kind of distracting. Let's just draw around the shape that you want in your footage. So in my case, I want this whole thing to kind of be a part of it. So I'm gonna do this really quick. Just draw. This effect works great with this footage because it's so stationary that they won't move around and the mask will just stay the same. So now if you had a footage where there's something moving, you could still mask, but you would have to mask almost every frame that that thing is moving. So it'll work, but it'll take so long. So that's my perfect professional mask. Now I'm gonna press double M to bring up the mask properties, and I'm gonna feather this out a little bit. So you can see a difference, 0 pixels. 2 pixels of feather. It just helps it blend a little bit better. Let me get the sky and move it up a little bit so that it kind of matches this line. Alright, so that's it for this tutorial. Hope you learned something. No, just kidding. Now I'm gonna add some curves, which I already have it up. If you don't have this window, you can go here to Window and Effects and Presets, or you can just go to your effect and color correction. So here are my curves. I'll drop it on my desert layer, and I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. Actually, a bunch. I want it to be darker than usual. I'm gonna bring up the blue a little bit so it could kind of match the sky. So it's looking night-ish. So it went from day to night real quick. And I'm gonna do the same with my sky. Not too much, but so it doesn't look as dull. It looks more frightening, kinda. Not really. RGB. I want to bring up the blue a little bit more. Bottom. Okay, that's looking whatever. So this is a basic thing, but there's a lot to fix here. So let me get a new adjustment layer, and I'm gonna draw a shape around this. Maybe twist it, rotate it a little bit. If you press R on your keyboard, the rotation properties will come up, or you can just go to transform, rotation. I'll bring it down a little bit. Have your mask properties out. You're gonna drop your curves and darken it out. You wanna get it dark because, oh, let's fix this. Fix this because you want this to blend with the background better. So not too much to the point that, you know, it's weird. And you're gonna bring up your feather. And you can't even tell. I mean, you can if you see the before and after, but if I just showed you this, you wouldn't be like, oh, there's a mask here, blah, blah. You know what I mean? That's looking good. Just bring up the blue. Actually, I hated that. Why did I do that? Okay. And I'm going to, I think in the original one, I added a mask in the front as well. Yeah, I have a mask here because it was kind of bright. I also have another version of it, which is not as great. At least I don't. Actually, I like these colors. I don't like the bottom though. It's so bright. Which can be fixed, or not. Anyways, let's go back to our project. Um, I'm gonna create a new adjustment layer and draw a little shape around this. And follow the bush. I'm gonna feather this, so that's why I'm making it a little bit extra large. So if I feather something here, it won't look feathered here, but instead it'll feather the edges, and you won't see a difference. Um, so let's add curves, some curves to this. We'll darken it a little bit. I want to decrease some of the red. Let's just do our feather right now. I'll do 5 or 10 or 100. I'm gonna shut off. This little button shuts off the mask visibility. That's looking a tad better, but it's not matching. Like, this is kind of yellow greenish and this is bluish, so it's not really matching the rest of my footage. So whoa, I better not mess with that. Okay, that's looking better ish. My sky, I feel like my sky is so out of place with everything else for some reason. I like these little red highlights, reddish. Since this is kind of red, that looks nice. Anyways, let's Okay, let's add the little lightning effect. So here, I'll just show it to you here because I already have the lightning down. What I did was I added the shadow and highlights, shadow highlight from the color correction, and I dropped it on top of it. So let me find another lightning effect. Here's one. Very subtle. There's a bigger one, and then it lights up even more. Let's see if I can find another one somewhere here. There's not that many um, lightning strikes in this footage, so it's very hard to find. I'll just do it here. So you drop the shadow and highlights to your sky footage, and I already have it, so I mean to your desert footage. And you may do it on top or underneath curves. Doesn't really make much of a difference, I believe. Or yeah, it does. Actually, does that look better? Or is it just me? Oh shit, that looks so much better. Yeah. So drop it under curves because it keeps the blue color instead of making it sort of reddish, and it still pumps up the highlights. Um, so where was the other lightning? Here? Okay. So what I did was I would have you could keyframe the white clip and then make it brighter. Actually, this is a bad example. So let me put it back to 0 because that's the effect. So you could do the white clip and keyframe it, and then decrease it every time the thunder goes away, and then the black clip as well. But what I did was instead of going through that mission, let me go back to the way things were. Press U to see all your keyframes. I found what I liked as far um as highlights. So let me copy this and paste it on my sky so you could see. Let me set this to 0. I liked my black clip at 13.40%. Now I think it comes with default at 0 both, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just drop a new one. 0.1. So I found that I liked 13% on this. And then what's the other one? 6.9%. And that's what I liked as far as my highlights. And then there's some other like the total width. You could just play around with all that. The radius to see how much you want brightened. Um, the highlight radius, the midtone contrast, which kind of plays a big part as far as what it gets brighter or not. You can see the difference here. That's nothing in midtone contrast, and that's 100. So once I found that, I started to keyframe the blending with the original. So that's a 0. So that's the pure effect. So that's where the lightning would strike. if I put 100, then blending 100% with my footage, that means there's nothing of my effect because it's completely blended. It's like a transparency. Think of it as this is 100%. Actually, this is 0% opaque, and then this is 100% opaque, the effect. So here you can see the whole effect, and here you don't see any of the effect. So I played around with that, and here it lights up, and here it goes back to all blend. So if you don't have any thunderstorm, you could do this, and it would work. So let me delete this. That's what I did for this layer, and that's kind of what you end up with. So let me do a quick demonstration. I'm not gonna do the options, I mean the midtone and all that, but sort of so you could see what I mean. Um, actually I did the opposite. This is bright. God damn it. This is bright because it's not blended. This is nothing because it's totally blended. And this is nothing as well. So boom, lightning strikes, goes away. Goes away. Boom, lightning strikes, goes away. So that's what I did with my shadow and highlights. So that's the tutorial for the masking, which was actually more of a color correcting tutorial now that I think of it. Now let's do the luma matte. I have this footage of a bird, and it's just a silhouette, and this will work, but it's not gonna work for these little things. But I'm gonna show it to you anyways because you could use it for another project. So I'm gonna drop it. Um, so my composition button. So we could do keying, but this orange color is not the same as this. And it would be, and imagine masking this. No, hell no. I wouldn't take the job if I had to mask this whole thing frame by frame. And look, it's moving. The bird is moving. There's even a little bug flying around. I mean, actually, that's a bird. There's a little bird, and he broke neck because it was a girl. Damn, mama. Anyways, so you can get to this. We're gonna do this with the colorama. If I could spell. We're gonna drop it on the video. And it goes all crazy, but you need to go to your output cycle and go to ramp gray, and this just turns it black and white. And clicking on these little things on the little color wheel will pop up the color palette, whatever. And then you want to make actually the opposite. You want to make one side white and then one side dark. And whatever is white, you will not see. So we want the sky to be white and then the branches and the bird to be black. So just push your white until it covers it all. Now this is what I'm talking about. You can't the branches kind of get caught off because they're so similar to or they're so thin that the white just eats it up. That's fine. Actually no, it's not. But for this project, it is. So what you could do is just do it enough so that you have some clouds, and then let's say I want my background to be skies to be this, which I took from extremestorms.com. Actually, yeah. Sorry, Extreme Storms. Alright. I want this to be my background. So I'm gonna put it on the bottom. And then I'm going to duplicate this. So Control D. And then for the footage on the bottom, I'm gonna turn off colorama. And then for the footage on top, actually, after you turn off colorama for the bottom, you're gonna toggle your switches, which you can do this with the button right here, or F4. And you're gonna go to your trackMatte and select luma inverted matte. Now you can see that all the white just got cut off. And there's still stuff moving and all that. Wow, that's super cool. Our hero. Dun dun dun. So, but I still have some little residues. I don't like that. So I'm gonna go to curves. I do everything with curves. You could also do it with fill, I guess. And I'm gonna decrease the color, I guess. And that gives us a little bit better, a little bit of a better silhouette. And there's no red and stuff. You don't have to make it so dramatic, but and also you could see these clouds better. So if you don't want the clouds, you could also you could play around with your colorama and get rid of it. But since this footage there's so many little branches, it wouldn't look that great. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm just gonna leave it like that. So that's the inverted the luma inverted matte um technique, and it works great. I mean, if the branches were thicker, then it would work even better. But I mean, this works pretty cool. Look at that. He's just looking at the lightning. Like he doesn't even run away. It's just like, wow, beautiful. I don't give a fuck anymore. So that's the tutorial. I hope I didn't drag it out too much doing my color correction. But these are things that you should always you should always think about when you do something. Don't just you know don't just look at this and be like, okay, this looks fine. Always try to make it better. Always try to make it. I mean, there's still so many things you could do to this. Like this could be blended better. You could even add a little house here if you want to track map. You could add rain. You could add droplets of rain on the camera. There's so many things you could do. You can make this effect for the thunder better. Um, but yeah, this is gonna be the tutorial for today. I'm gonna try to come up with new tutorials more often. I know I'm slacking like really hard, but I've had a lot of tutorials done, and I just never get around to uploading them or editing them because there's so many other projects that I gotta work on that um they take they take up all my time. But anyways, I'm gonna try to bring more tutorials. Hopefully next I'll do shape layers and how to maybe go from a circle to a square or something. Hope you learned something, even if it was just the highlights effect or this and playing curves so that it doesn't look red. Peace out.